Is Onward the most realistic PvP shooter in VR, or is it a failed attempt at a military simulator? We find out in our review of Onward VR. I also want to mention that I'm not going to compare the game to Pavlov or Contractors, as I will be doing a comparison video between all three at a later date, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I've already reviewed both Contractors and Pavlov, so check them out if you haven't already by clicking the link above, or I'll leave the link in the description as well. Just a point to note that I will try and cover as much as I can in this review of Onward, but there is a lot to this game. So if you enjoyed this video, then please share if you can and give it a thumbs up, as it lets me know to make more of this type of content, and subscribe to the channel for everything VR related. Remember, I'm also giving a copy of Doom VFR to one of my subscribers. So let's get straight into it. Before I start, I know some of you have the attention span of a goldfish, so I'll give you a too long didn't watch. If you want a PvP game to run and gun, then this isn't the game for you. If you want a slow paced game similar to Armor, then this game will be perfect for you. If you want to know why, then keep watching. Onward originally came out in August 2016 in early access, and since then the developers have been supporting it by releasing several updates. One of these updates was the implementation of custom maps. To be honest, the developers at Onward actually were quite clever with this. They were like, why should we waste time making good maps when we can make the community do it for us by just holding a competition for the best map? It was genius, and it actually worked quite well. Some of the maps that were made by the community are very good, and you can see a lot of effort has been put into them. This brings us to graphics and performance in Onward. Graphically speaking, the game actually has some mixed quality. There are some really nice looking maps that you're able to play on a day environment as well as a night variant of it. Now, you may be thinking, oh god, you can't see anything in dark maps. Well, to counter that, you can take night goggles with you to be able to see better. To be honest, the game actually looks better to me during night maps with the night goggles. However, if the opponent is rocking a flashlight, that will blind you. So it's an interesting trade-off. These type of features are actually fantastic and implemented really well in the game. Plus, another awesome feature on the maps are the weather effects. You can have random sandstorms in the game that changes your playstyle completely. The guns look decent and the character models look quite good as well. One of the most interesting things I saw was that you could see the player's breath in a map that was supposed to be cold. I was like, wow, that's really cool. However, the only part I don't like is the lack of a muzzle flash for guns, and the grenade explosions are kind of pathetic. Plus, there isn't really any gore in the game other than some blood splatter when someone is shot. Although the ragdoll effect is quite entertaining when you see someone riddled with bullets. But other than that, I actually quite like the graphics. Performance wise, the game literally takes a full 60 seconds to load up after you've launched it. It could be a bit longer because I only started counting after I realized how long it was actually taking. Now, I don't know if that's because they're trying to load the rain since the developer's called Downpour, which I thought was cool, but I really hope that's not the reason. Then again, when loading the server, it also likes to take its time, but maybe around 30 seconds this time. However, while in game, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So if this is the trade-off to make sure performance is good while playing, then I'm happy for it to have a longer loading time. Although it would still be better if they tried to improve this aspect, as this has been the case since the game came out. Alright then, let's quickly move on to the sound quality in the game. Considering this game is more of a tactical shooter, it's eerily quiet, especially when everyone is trying to sneak up on one another. However, the sound of gunshots and explosions are actually quite impressive and make you feel like you're in real danger. You can hear the bullets hitting the steel or concrete and get a sense of panic, where I've literally fallen down since it seemed like I was about to get shot. It really does make you feel immersed while playing. However, one of my favorite things in the game is that your team can hear you if they are close to you when you speak. But if they get further away, then you need to use your radio, which is such an awesome feature. But something even cooler is the enemy team can also hear you if they are close enough. So you have to be careful when speaking or you're giving away your position. So, moving on to the most important aspect, the gameplay. Now, there is something really important that you need to know about this game that will make or break the game for you, so keep watching. Let's talk about the positives of the game first. Just to start things off, the first positive is the player count. Onward doesn't have the same level of players as Pavlov does, however it has as many as you need to be able to find players anytime, with around 100 players per day on average just on Steam. And considering the game is also on Oculus and is cross-platform, the numbers are relatively high. I never had an issue finding a game. When you start the game, you will get to choose between multiplayer, single player or training. The only training available currently is the basic training that shows you the basics of how to use things. However, it is showing that more advanced training is coming soon. But right now, you can learn on the job. The multiplayer has two modes, either PvP or co-op. In co-op, you and your team will be going up against bots. Now, don't take this lightly, the AI is generally good, a little too good at times. Even on Rookie, which is the easiest level, they can give you a reasonably tough fight, if you have enough of them coming at you. But on that level, you have a good chance of usually coming out on top. This level is, as the name suggests, for rookies, just to get you used to things. However, on the higher difficulties, it seems to become a little unfair at times. Like they have an aimbot on and spot you faster than you spot them. I'd rather not go up against John Wick. But once you've gotten used to things, it can feel satisfying to take them down. The single player mode is obviously you versus bots, where you can again choose the difficulty level, choose your map and go at it alone. There is also a competitive lobby for the more experienced players, which I wouldn't recommend going in if you're a new player. So let's move on to the guns, loadout and equipment. You're able to choose from 4 different classes. The Rifleman for the assault rifles, Specialist for SMGs and shotguns, Support for LMGs and the Marksman class for snipers. Not only that, depending on which side you're on, Marcus or Volks, you will have different weapons to choose from. When I initially started, I was confused why my loadout had disappeared, but you need 2 separate loadouts for each team. Also, there are only 2 loadouts you can save for each team, which I think is not really enough and I would have liked more. Some of the equipment you can get are the usual things like frag grenades, flashbangs, smoke grenades, including green smoke grenades, which look really cool. There's also a drone that you can use to spot your enemies, which is a unique feature I've not seen before, especially in VR. You also get body armor to help you survive. Not only that, you will also be given a syringe to get your health back or revive your teammates, but they are limited, although you can take 1 extra one in your loadout. However, one thing to understand is you just can't pick everything that you want in your loadout. Depending on which game mode you're playing, PvP or PvE, you will have a different allocated amount of points that you will use to choose your weapons and equipment. For PvP, I believe it's 10 points, and for PvE, it's 18 points. So you can take a lot more when you're playing against bots. One thing that was quite irritating while in the game was that I had a tough time grabbing the equipment that I wanted on my body. I went for a magazine and picked up a smoke grenade, and then trying to take out my pistol was not fun, I just couldn't grab it. Now this could just be me, but I've never had this problem in any other games. However, I believe you're able to adjust the placements if you want. There are 3 main game modes, Uplinked, Special Ops and Escort. I'll just give you a brief overview of each of these since that's all you will be playing. In Uplink, you play to 4 points and will switch sides after a round. The 2 teams are Volks and Marsok. The Volks' objective is to stop the Marsok from hacking the satellite uplink by eliminating them or letting the time run out. If successful, they will get 1 point. The Marsok objective is obviously to hack the uplink or eliminate the Volks. Now the difference is, if you complete the objective then you get 2 points, or 1 point for eliminating all of the enemy. So playing the objective can win you the match quicker. However, from what I noticed was most people were just going for the kills rather than playing the objective, as it was easier. The next game mode, Escort, is a little more interesting. One player from the Marsok side is randomly selected as the VIP, and their aim is to get to the extraction point. Alternatively, your team can eliminate the enemy and win the round. However, on the other hand, all the Volk team needs to do is eliminate the VIP, and they get their point. So you have to actually play sensibly and protect your teammate. And finally, the third game mode is Special Ops. Now this is a unique game mode that I've not seen in VR before. Here the Volks are given knives, night vision goggles, flashbangs and the enemy location. They are also able to find Molotovs around the level in ammo boxes. Now, the Marsok just have a pistol and a flashlight, and don't know the enemy location. You can imagine the intensity in this game. The Marsok's aim is to survive the Volk's assault or eliminate them. It's actually like facing a group of predators that can see you but you can't see them. Now, there is one flaw with the game modes in general that I will come back to later, but if you're enjoying the video, then please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. So, another positive in the game is the custom maps option. However, from what I experienced, majority of the people online are still playing the base game maps most of the time. Also, I searched through all of the custom maps and I was surprised to find that there wasn't one map that I could find from Call of Duty or Halo or any other popular FPS games. They all seem to be actually custom made maps, not copying anything. Now this is good and bad in a sense. The good is that it will be a completely unique experience when playing on these maps. The bad is that sometimes you want a bit of nostalgia, but experience it in VR. However, that brings me on to why this is the case and my biggest gripe with the game. The reason I believe Call of Duty maps have not been implemented in the game is because Onward is nowhere close to playing like COD. By that I mean it's not a run and gun game at all. It's actually a very slow and tactical game. You have one life in all of the game modes, and you will die in 1 or 2 shots. You have limited ammo as you are only given 2 magazines once you run out. You need to pick up weapons and ammo from your enemies, which is actually super cool to do. Now, this is great, but this isn't for everyone. For a new player, this game is one of the hardest to get into. Now, the developers of Onward have implemented a strange rotation system for social game modes. For example, game modes where you respawn. The system is that they introduce a new game mode for the first Friday of every month, which lasts for 10 days. One such game mode I've seen is Gun Game. To be honest, I think it's a bit ridiculous that these aren't permanent game modes. This may be because Onward is trying to maintain its status as the top military simulator and doesn't want it to be flooded with casual fans. But from a business standpoint, it doesn't make any sense, as I can guarantee that they would have a lot more players if they did implement more respawn game modes permanently, such as Team Deathmatch, Gun Game, Domination, etc. There is one game mode that tries to fill this void called Uplink Assault, but I don't think it replaces Team Deathmatch. So, overall, what do I think of this game? To be honest, this is one of the best and most fleshed out PvP shooters around that just screams quality. Now, I've given you all the details for you to make up your own mind, so now I will give you my subjective view. Personally, I didn't have as much fun in the game as I thought I would have. And that's because majority of the time I was either in the loading section or dead watching other people play. Yes, this could be because I'm crap, but the question is, how good are you? Do you want to play super cautiously, like your actual life depends on it? Or do you want to just run out and have fun? But like I said, it's subjective. One thing I will say is majority of the people I found online were actually quite cool and I love to play with.
Tickle my willy.
But that's the thing, there wasn't that much playing for me. Considering most of the games are team based, your team actually relies on you to be good. I don't really want that responsibility. I looked online and for years people have been pleading for the developers to add more casual game modes in that have respawns. But all we have are random rotations. Is it because they don't want casual players? However, the Quest port for Onward is coming out on the 30th of July and is cross-play between PC and the Quest. If I was a betting man, I would bet that we will get some casual game modes pretty soon after, because I can't imagine the Quest audience being too die-hard. So, my final conclusion is that if you want a run and gun game, then this is not the game for you. But if you want a slow-paced, tactical, realistic military simulator, then you're not going to get anything better than Onward. Well, that's all folks. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends thinking of getting the game. Well, thanks for watching, have a great day, stay safe and see you next time.